We shall remain totally unbiased about any religious order or belief systems humanity has developed through the ages. Although remaining neutral, we aim to look at alternatives which can only make one think and ask questions. Questions we have been asking since the beginning of time, and felt we dared not speak of them sometimes due to our own belief systems, which we have been subjected to from time immemorial or even recently. Personally, as a philosopher and scientist, I believe that science can and will lead the way to true understanding, although a few may prefer to consider it under a negative light. However, I will say, is it not better to look at both sides of the coin? Look, observe, and share. Where do you come from? Why is human life not long enough to evolve into the heights? Why do enmity and strife still exist in the name of a belief system? Who are you? Who am I? Why have so many belief systems been developed throughout the history of mankind? What did we learn? Why is science, mankind's highest achievement so far, so important? What about the thinking part of us? What of life itself? Did you live before? Will you live after the inevitable we as humans have to face at the end of our dreaded days? What happens to our minds or aware selves after death? Do we somewhat survive and live on in a different dimension? Is that the great beyond? Indeed, what happens when we die? Is reincarnation real? Everybody seems to ask the same question. According to Alan Danelic, ever since humans began pondering on their mortality 100,000 years ago, their response has eluded us. Is it all an illusion we have created to give ourselves a sense of permanence and immortality? As we previously mentioned, when speaking of the research into NDEs, removed from it all, there is an awareness of another reality which fundamentally is not of this world. It is a reality we apparently can become aware of once our consciousness is loosed from our deep-seated self-concept of being a body. This awareness may affect the loss of our fear of death to the extent that it is no longer a part of our minds. However, those studies do not provide the evidence that after our physical death we continue on living with the personalities through which we know ourselves and each other during our lives on this planet Earth. There is no denial of the fact of the death of our bodies, but it is important to remember that some in a near-death situation report a conscious experience of the event. Another viewpoint is that our so-called awareness ceases to exist, thereby endowing our existence on earth with no meaning, requiring nothing and offering nothing. This way, our existence has no ultimate purpose, and with all its beauty and splendor, the universe has no more significance, no definite permanence than a plant which is briefly there. But something deep inside us knows that there needs to be something more. We know we are a lot more than just our body. This may be why many of us believe that our personalities survive our physical demise and continue on. Is what survives a separate awareness? If so, what happens afterwards? Do we become ghosts wandering aimlessly around our world, or perhaps playing harps amidst the clouds, capable of perceiving the physical realm yet unable to interact with it? Do these awarenesses, or spirits if you prefer, stay on earth, then vanish into some other existence? Is that the great beyond we are pondering about? Some also believe and accept the idea that we all go somewhere as our aware selves, our essence, or the program recorded within the fabric of the cosmos. That could be the reason why the heavens seem to be the popular choice for our destination. Another belief considers, and has been embraced for thousands of years, that the human soul needs not to live on some ethereal real estate reserved for the good and the evil ones. This belief system, known as reincarnation, rebirth, regeneration, predates Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, and is something which is largely ignored in the Western world. If this one life is the only reality, it is like a blink of an eye within eternity, with all our endless endeavors and decision-making. Alas, this reduces physical existence to little more than just a cosmic hatchery, perhaps to give birth to new souls, each to spend a brief moment in time on earth, yet to plunge into their ultimate destiny, or some other reason we are yet to discover. Interestingly, something deep inside us knows that there needs to be a lot more to life. Socrates says, "I am confident that there truly is such a thing as living again, that the living spring from the dead, and that the souls of the dead are in existence." Interestingly, you may be intrigued to discover that it was indeed once Christianity's fundamental belief system, but by a past papal or ecumenical decree it was removed altogether, as with many other important writings within the Bible, despite the warnings therein against doing so. Those who still believed in or preached about it were severely punished as heretics, and the church had to be right at all times. For they truly believed that they were the only ambassadors of the kingdom of God on earth, declaring themselves to be the only chosen spokesmen of that theocratic leadership. However, it has once again become part of Western thought. Then what does it mean to reincarnate? How do a Buddhist, Hindu, and a New Ager describe it? What about the meaning of it within a spiritualist's point of view? Are we simply being recycled, perhaps? Peter Ramstar, a psychologist, a psychotherapist and film producer, has written a number of books on the subject of reincarnation. One such book is In Search of Life's Past, Amazing New Evidence, published by Somerset Film and Publishing Company in Sydney. As one can discover therein, he studied a number of his subjects under hypnosis and documented his findings in documentaries shown on television a while ago. All his discoveries he considered to be totally authentic and genuine. He took some of the people he interviewed on a journey overseas, and tapping into their hidden memories and further researching and discovering olden records, he proved their truthfulness. People who have never been out of Australia spoke not only in different languages, but also different dialects, and have proven beyond any doubt that they were genuine. In his book, Peter writes, All the experience of death and rebirth that I have studied are all very similar, even though one may listen to thousands of regression sessions and have multitudes of people relive their experiences of death or rebirth. One invariably finds there is remarkable similarity in the description they give. He included many of his recordings of people he interviewed. I was overcome by the feeling of peace is one of them. I suddenly felt all is well. A peace came all over me, like I was in harmony with the universe. I felt like I was going home, is the other. He writes about the next stage of the dying experience, where people begin to drift away from Earth, a feeling of lightness and freedom, floating carelessly for a period of time and meeting someone who helps them. Then an experience of a tunnel journey into space usually follows. They hear swishing sounds at times. Nearing the end of the journey, they report seeing enormously bright light and enter it. When coming out of it, they are in a new dimension where they meet people, some telling them to rest a while. Peter also says that this may be some other part of our galaxy or even another part of the universe. This is where things start becoming a little more intriguing and highly interesting. Although everybody's experience may be different, yet many seem to report similar stories. A tunnel sequence and seeing stars and galaxies appear to be the most common ones. According to Peter and my own discoveries, when regressed under hypnosis, people speak of unusual attire people wear, including robes with multiple colors which appear to be translucent. Apparently, the names of people are not necessarily important, as they are identified with their frequencies or colors and the light they present. There are beings who present extreme light energy and are probably of a significant origin. Peter talks of people's experiences of not so good kind also. However, I am not going to promote any religious understanding of this, as I will remain an observer. As with our natural tendencies of understanding the entire universe, as well as our lives being governed by the principle of cause and effect, call it karma and retribution if you like, there seems to be a natural justice system within the entire cosmos. Everything we observe on our planet, with the life of plants and animals, has a purpose and a reason. Everything is connected or interconnected with each other. Every organism relies on something else. According to Peter, and my own discoveries from the study of people in altered states of consciousness, it seems that reincarnation is to learn and experience, and that without the physical experience one may not be able to advance. With all our experiences from just living, we learn. We can learn tolerance, patience, understanding, love, and more down-to-earth things like physics, chemistry, maths, medicine, art, biology, geology, engineering, and science. Earth offers us total knowledge, but because of the shortness of one human life, it can never be enough to learn everything. Yet we, as humans, have a great mental ability. As Peter quotes, after a lifetime of learning all that knowledge, which is intimately stored in the recesses and files of the human consciousness, what a waste it is for it to become lost at the point of death, when man's mind ceases to exist any further. Although we cannot describe what consciousness is, yet we can build computers, let alone all the electronic items that go with them. We use the same energy source as electricity and magnetism as the equipment we create. We too are made of similar elements, chemicals and electrical impulses. But we have something nothing else can have: awareness. There has to be something else to make all that possible. Awareness, energy. Energy, intelligence, we all share, and we cannot necessarily call it a God energy. But if you like it, be my guest. The physical body, it seems, gives that individualized awareness energy the means of gaining experience, which for some reasons needs to be physical. That awareness energy is probably also evolving as it gains the knowledge it seeks for an ultimate goal. Unfortunately, talking to some scientifically minded people of today about reincarnation appears to be similar to talking to a follower of a Christian church of the 16th century about witchcraft. Some open-mindedness may be needed here. Thank you for listening to me. Until we meet again, I am Suren.